All right, I hope you guys are doing well. And in this video, we're going to show you how you can create an unlimited number of ad images and ad concept images using Nana Banana, N8N, and Discord. And this is a great workflow because if you're an advertiser, with Facebook's latest Andromeda update, it's becoming more important than ever for advertisers to be able to test different types of ad creatives within their campaigns. And so what this workflow allows you to do is it allows you to take existing ad templates as well as your own products and create different types of variations for your advertising campaigns. And so in this case, on the left-hand side, we have the ad template that we want to use for wellness gummies. And then on the right, we have our own product. And this workflow allows you to do a couple different options. It allows you to do a product replacement where you're basically taking the product here and you're replacing it with the image or your product on the right. And then it allows you to also just create entirely new ad concepts. And so in this case, we actually created a different type of ad based on our references. And that resulted in something that looks like this, where if you compare it with the original ad, it actually changes quite a few things. It changes the headlines, it changes your benefits, it changes some of your icons here, right? And it also puts your product in the center as well as giving it a completely different color scheme. So this is a very, very powerful workflow. But before we continue, if you're interested in getting access to this workflow, it's going to be available in the link below, and it's going to be included with an entire workshop on how to create image ads with Nana Banana. And the way that we actually start this within N8N is first we create a form within N8N. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a CSV file that has two basic columns. The first is for our ad reference image URLs. And then the second one is for our product image URLs. And then we're basically just going to drag and drop that CSV file into our file upload area here. And then we're going to choose from the three different types of generation types. So we have your product replacement, we have your ad template, and then we have your custom prompt, in case you want to give Nana Banana specific instructions. And then we're going to click on submit. And it's going to basically start this workflow here. And it's going to connect us to Discord, where it's basically going to post those images once they're finished. And it's also going to create another record within Airtable, so we can actually reference those images in a organized way later on. And so I'm just going to show you some of the runs that we went through. And so like I said, this is a great workflow because it allows you to take just about any type of ad that you see, and then it allows you to take your images and your existing ads as well and create new ads from the combination. So in this case, we have an existing ad for like a skincare product, and then we have our product. And then by using the workflow, we come up with something like this. In this case, it was more of an ad template using the existing ad as a reference, but it does a really great job. And of course, what you can do is you can actually go ahead and in cases where, you need to make some adjustments, you can use the original image and you can use this as a great starting point for your ads. The next one we have is a hair care product where we had our ad image reference URL on the left-hand side and our product on the right-hand side. And I believe for this one, we wanted a replacement, but let's see what happens. And so let's see if it did it the same thing. All right. So usually what Nana Banana does is even when you tell it to give it a product replacement, sometimes it takes its own, license to change the wording, but it did a pretty good job with, staying close to the idea. And, you have these benefits here. And then let's see if they included the water. So they included some of the water. So you can see how, you can use this to really create like fresh ad creatives, even within your own campaigns. So the next one we have is we have the same type of product, but we have a different type of ad for it, where the girl is basically showing it, sort of protecting herself from the rain. And this was a new concept, and I think it did a pretty good job. It was sort of related, weatherproof your style. What I really like is the fact that it changes the headlines. And so it understands the text, and so it changes the headlines to give you something that looks fresh and looks new. And so if we go to the next one, this was for an earlier version of our gummy bears. And so this one was a really interesting ad because this is for Hydrant. And so you can see, the headline here, and it's sort of showing the different features based on, Hydrant's product. And then on the right-hand side, we have our product. And so the result was something that looks like this, where you have the same type of layout, but you have, those benefits here that, have like the L-shaped call outs there. And then I believe, okay, so you also see that it actually completely replaced the background with the background from our target image. So you can see how it's mixing and matching different elements to create completely new ads. And it actually also even replaced the headlines. So like I said, it's a very, very powerful way to create fresh ad creatives for your campaigns. The next one that we used was, I call this the sippy soda. So we have a soda ad here, and then we have our soda here, and we wanted to create something that's based on this ad. And the result that N8N gave us was this, and just a beautiful looking ad. And I believe it uses the same color scheme. Yeah, it uses the same color scheme, but it replaces everything, and it even takes, the original, 2x2, and it just lays it out exactly as it is here. And so even the button is different, right? So like I said, very, very powerful. The next one was, let's see here. The next one was for collagen protein. So again, the target ad or the style reference on the left-hand side, and our product on the right-hand side. And then this actually turned out really well. It actually changed the colors. It kept the same basic concept, but it changed the colors, and it really made it much more tailored to our product. So like I said, a really, really great way to create fresh ad creatives, or pretty much anything that you want, especially since you have that custom prompt. So now let's go ahead and actually take a look at the individual workflow itself within N8N. And, this took a little while to create, but basically what we're doing is we're creating our form submission. And then once we upload our CSV file and we choose our generation type, what's going to happen is it's going to essentially just extract those details from our form submission, and then it's going to pass them to basically 3 different paths. So the first path is going to be our product replacement workflow. The second path is going to be our ad template, and then the third path is going to be our custom prompt. And for this generation, we're actually using a service called Key.ai. They actually offer access to a number of different image and video models, and they have great pricing, so I really highly recommend them. And what we're going to do is, once we've passed our request to Key AI, what we're going to do is we're actually going to update our Airtable record with the task ID, and that is also going to essentially kick off the project request. And then at the top here, what we have is another webhook that basically uses a callback URL feature from Key.ai. I believe Replicate also has this feature where basically instead of polling a URL that you're given, what Key will do is it will actually send a post request to your N8N webhook so that you can automatically get the image or the file whenever it's completed. In a lot of different workflows, you generally have to poll an image URL or a service URL to see if the image is done. But in this case, you don't actually have to do that. You can just wait until the service calls you, basically, and then you can actually get that image. And in this case, what we're doing is we're getting the image, we're getting the file name of the image, we're updating our Airtable with the location, and we're also updating or uploading the image to our Amazon S3 account. And then we post that image to our Discord channel. And so we actually have done this in a couple different cases here. And so let's go up to the beginning. So this was the first one, and we actually used it with a different product, an earlier version of our Yummy Bear gummies. And this one was more of a product replacement. So you can kind of see that the original headlines and features were here, but we just basically added our image, our product image. And then this one was another variation for our soda ad. So we go ahead and click on that, and it gave us a pretty good, entirely different ad concept for our soda. In this case, it was a bit more of a replacement because you can see some of the similar wording here, but it still made it, pretty interesting. And then we've already seen that one, and then we've seen this one. Actually, I think it changed a little bit. And this one was actually a product replacement, but it actually didn't replace the product. It just replaced some of the elements from our product, but it was still pretty interesting. So, it really gives you a lot of different ideas. And let's see if we have another one. And that was it. So, this is a really, really powerful workflow, and it's really fluid and flexible because it uses the ability to generate some incredible ads, and also it connects it to Discord. And what's really cool about Discord is that it really allows you to upload your images to Discord, and it allows you to really use it in a way that's very, natural and intuitive. So go ahead and check this out. If you're interested in getting access to this, it's going to be in the links below. And in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how you can create video ads using Google VO3, N8N, as well as Discord. So with that, I'll see you in the next video.